What's up, everybody? It's Fan the Gate, and today I'm gonna have a short little video for y'all. It shouldn't take too long, but today I'm gonna be showing y'all how to make y'all beats sound better, how to make them sound more human. You know, how to humanize them. I'm gonna show y'all how to make them have a nice groove and make them not sound so robotic and make them sound more natural, if that's what you're going for. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so I got a beat right here that I made, and I separated it into two patterns. So the first pattern says good, and that's the good beat. It's the same beat actually. I just copied it into a different pattern. So the first pattern is where it sounds good, and the second pattern doesn't sound good, right? So I got the bad pattern and I got the good pattern. And if you can see, when I go to the good pattern, to the bad pattern, I mean, it changes a little bit. So if you look at the piano roll right there, you can see that there's some real subtle changes. Alright, so I'm gonna just play the good beat. Not the good beat, because it's the same beat, but I'm gonna play the good version of the beat, and then I'm gonna play the bad one. So this is the good one. Alright, so that's the good version of the beat, and this is the bad one. Alright, so as you can see in the bad version, it has a lot less movement, like a lot less movement. It has a lot less energy. It has a lot less groove to it, and I'm about to show y'all why. So the first thing is in my drums. Really, the main reason why the good version sounds good is because of syncopation. Syncopation is just a fancy way of saying like offbeat. You know, if you syncopate something, you making an offbeat, but it's done purposefully. You know, syncopation is basically purposeful offbeat. Alright. So syncopation is what makes this one have so much human emotion. And that's, you know, if you want something to sound human, syncopate it, because humans, you know, when real humans play instruments, it's not always 100% on beat. You know, when you use a DAW like FL Studio or Logic or Ableton or something like that, you can you know, make it so precise that it takes away the humanization. You know, so alright. So the first thing that's syncopated is the snare. As you can see, I got a drum kit right here. So C3 is the kick. D sharp 3 is the snare, and F sharp 4 is the hat. So as you can see, D sharp 3 is the snare, and every snare hit is off beat, right? So if it was on beat, it would be right here. It would be on the grid right here, but it's not because it's syncopated. All right, so I'm gonna play it. And if you listen to it, you can kind of hear that it's off beat, but not really. See, really, it's more about the feel of it instead of actually hearing it. You know, it's not always so audible, and in this situation, it's really not audible, but you just feel that it's different. So if I put this note, if I quantize this note, this is what it would sound like, versus the syncopated note, which sounds like this. right? So it's a whole difference. So the snare is syncopated, and the second thing that's syncopated is this brass right here. It's like some type of synth brass. And if I just play it like this, you can't really tell that it's syncopated because it's no metronome. But if I turn on the metronome on, you can hear that it's syncopated, right? Alright. So what I did was I basically I highlighted all the notes, right? And I just pulled them over right here. So this is what it would sound like if it wasn't syncopated. Alright. Alright. And then this is the unsyncopated. Right, so it's kind of dragging, but it's still on beat because all the notes they are the same distance apart. I just moved all of it over, so it's still on beat. And then this Lush Life right here is doing the same thing as that brass, so it's the same notes. Right, it's the same thing. Now the main thing that gives this beat the movement that it has and the humanization is the bass. The bass is completely syncopated. If you know anything about FL or whatever, or music in general, or if you use any DAW, you should be able to look at this and tell immediately that it's off beat. It's not lined up perfectly with the grid. All right. You should be able to see that immediately. So I'm gonna play it without the metronome, and without the metronome, you can't really tell. All right. So now I'm gonna turn the metronome on, and you can hear how off beat the bass is. Alright, so if I just play the drums and the bass, right, so that's the good one. Now the bad one, everything that I just showed you is undone. So none of this is syncopated. In the bad version, everything is completely lined up with the grid, and that just completely strips it of any humanization or groove or movement that it would have had. So the brass is on beat, the bass and the snare is all on beat. Alright, so this is the bad version. And then this is the good version. Alright, so as you can see, the the good version, because it's all subjective anyway, right? But the good version has a lot more movement, right? You can bob your head to it, right? A lot easier. It has a lot more groove. So that's one way you can make your beats sound better, is to take away some of the roboticness and give them some human feel. So thank y'all for watching this video. Please please subscribe and leave a comment and a like if you liked this video, if it helped you out. If it didn't, whatever, man, whatever. So thank y'all again, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon.